Hi everyone and welcome back to another live session with PlanBee. If you haven't been with us before, welcome. My name is Emma and I will be teaching today's session. I am a former teacher and a resource creator for PlanBee, so hopefully we're going to do some lovely art today. Our session is all about animal art and finding different animals in Britain. So I'm just going to say hello to some people in the chat. I know that we've got some returning people. So hello to Ebony, welcome back. Hello Thomas. Hello to Cheryl and Katie. Thank you very much all for joining us today. So I'm going to let everyone just have a bit more time to turn up before we start today's session. So let me just show you what our timetable is going to look like today. So let's look. Okay, so we will hopefully start in the next 5 to 10 minutes, probably more like 5 minutes when everyone's here. And then we will start going through the input for today's lesson. And then we will go away and do some independent work. Now I am going to do some drawing with you today. We'll do some step-by-step drawing today. And then you can go away and try some other bits yourself. And then hopefully lots of you will be sending in some of your work today. So if you would like to send in some of your work, please email us at homelearning@planbee.com, and that's my favourite part of the lesson, is being able to share all of your learning from today's session. So yeah, please do send those in if you can, and then we should be finishing around 11:45. Hello Amelie and Isabel, and hello Ayana, welcome back. Always nice to have you back. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just going to put a question up for you. Here we go. So for everyone watching, what animals might we find outside if we went for a nature walk? I wonder if you can think about what animals you might see when you go for your walks at the moment. Maybe you can tell the person next to you, or tell us in the chat. And while you're thinking about that, I just want to remind parents of a few things. So firstly, we really encourage you to stay and supervise your children during our live sessions, just to make sure that they are safe. And of course, join in as much as you can. This lesson is aimed at year 1 and 2 children, but it absolutely is perfect for older children as well. Even adults can get involved in this. I know I've learned a thing or two with my practicing my sketching this morning, so I really hope to see everyone getting involved. Also, as with any of our sessions, you can join in with just a piece of paper and a pencil. If you've got a sketch pad or just plain paper is absolutely fine. If you can print out the resources, there's lots on there today, but they are just, you can pick and choose what you'd like to use, but otherwise just a sketchbook would be absolutely fine. And I'll show you some of those resources in a moment. So that link is down the bottom of the video. There's also a link to enrol for all of our sessions, and that way you can get updates daily of which ones we are going to be doing, and then you'll also get some free resources. Okay, so we've got some people saying in the chat that they might be able to see birds, squirrels, and rabbits, yep, ladybirds. Also, welcome to my colleague Abby in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us today. Abby will be moderating the chat and will be answering any questions that you have or any questions that I don't get to. Ants, that's another good one. Lots of creepy crawlies that you might see out and about. Hi Lola. Cats, yes, there's lots of cats around my neighbourhood. Pigeons. I have pigeons living on my roof at the moment. They're very noisy, so if you do hear them, I'm sorry. Butterflies, yep. Some really good ideas here. Brilliant. Deers as well. I suppose some of this depends on where you live. So where I live, there you would see things like, actually I did see a rabbit the other day, and you would see cats and things like that and birds. But maybe if you live in the countryside, you might see more wild animals like deers. Brilliant. Okay, so let's move on then. Okay, I'm going to disappear off your screen and we're going to make a start. So, looking at the animal on the screen, what animal is this? Does anyone know? I wonder if anyone's ever seen one of these in real life. What colours can you see? Can you see any shapes on this animal? Now that's a really important thing to think about, what shapes you might be able to see, because that's a really good top tip for later when we start drawing. So, does anyone know what animal this is? Okay, Katie says it is a hedgehog. Well done, it is a hedgehog. And it's brown, it's spiky, there's some really good adjectives there to describe the hedgehog. Can you see any shapes? If you were to draw this, what shape might you start with? What shapes can you see in this hedgehog? They're very cute, aren't they? Carly says that she held one once. Brilliant. It does have spikes. I wonder what the spikes are for. So, has anyone seen any shapes in this picture of this hedgehog? Let's have a look. Did you see any of these shapes? Oh, well done. Someone said oval. So, this hedgehog has brown, prickly spines. It has black feet and a black nose. It has brown and white fur. Did you notice those? So can you see these basic shapes on this image of this hedgehog? So we've got an oval there for the body, and we've got a triangle for the head, a circle for the eye, and rectangles for the feet at the bottom there. Cheryl says that the spikes are for when they get scared and curl up in a ball. That's true, it protects them, doesn't it? Brilliant. So those circles are really, really important when we start thinking about how we might sketch this animal. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, so what is this animal? Well, we know it's a bird. What colours can you see? And are there any shapes in this animal that you can see? Is it made of any of those basic shapes? You could almost use your finger to sort of sketch out a shape with your finger on the picture on the screen and see what shapes you can see. Well done everyone. So lots of people have said that this bird is called a robin. And robins have that lovely red colour on its front there. Really beautiful bird. I see lots of them. I always associate robins with Christmas. I'm not sure why. Yeah, lots of circles. We can see a circle for the eye. Maybe another oval for the body. What sort of shape do we have for the beak, do you think? What other shapes can you see? Nabby said, what shape could the tail be? That's an interesting one. So lots of people have said circles. Cone is a very interesting idea. Triangle. Okay, let's have a look then. Okay, let me just disappear off your screen for a second. So, did you see these shapes? This robin has brown, grey and orange feathers. It has black eyes and a black beak. It has pink and brown legs. So, looking at these shapes, did you see these shapes? So, that tail we talked about earlier could be a rectangle. Well done. And we've got that triangle there for the wing, some more rectangles for the legs, and like we did with our finger, almost trace that oval shape of the body, and another oval for the face, and that triangle for the beak. Well done, everyone. So there are lots of shapes in this robin, and they all fit together to make the body and to make all of those parts of the robin. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So, does anyone know what animal this is? What do you think this animal is? And can you see any colours? And I wonder if you can do that tracing again with your finger on the screen. Is there any shapes that you can see? What shapes can you see? Lots of people saying that this animal is a deer. Well done. Yep, Emily says it was a deer. A little joke there. Oh dear. Very nice. Katie can see triangles. I wonder where the triangles might be. Rectangles. Great. Okay, should we have a look at what shapes might be in this animal? So this is a deer. Well done if you guessed that. So this deer has a black nose and black eyes. It has a reddy brown and grey fur, and it has black hooves, which are his feet down at the bottom. So did you see some of those shapes? Someone said triangles, didn't you? So those triangles for ears, a triangle shape for the face and the nose there, and then that big oval for the body, and then lots of rectangular shapes for the legs as well, and another oval shape for the hooves too. Great, well done everyone. Okay, so all the animals we have been looking at are animals that you can find in Britain. Today we are going to be doing some observational drawings of these British animals. What do you think that means, observational? Does anyone know what that means? Have a think. Maybe tell the person next to you, what does observational mean? I wonder. Can anyone say in the chat what they think that might mean, observational drawing? Any ideas? Any ideas? Okay, so someone said that you need to do good looking, so maybe you need to really focus really hard on certain parts of the animals. Okay, great, well done. Okay, so let's have a look at what observational drawing is. So, an observational drawing is when you draw what you can see. This means you have to look really closely at the animal you are drawing and try to make your drawing as lifelike as possible. It's really important to look, and we've used that word already, look at what you are drawing really carefully when you're doing an observational drawing. You need to look at what shapes and lines there are and how they connect with each other. Great, and you can see an artist there sketching those donkeys. So we've got some top tips for you today with your sketching. Draw what you see and not what you think you see. So in this picture of this hedgehog, I think lots of people assume that the head is higher than the body, but actually that isn't always the case. As you can see here, the hedgehog's head is actually lower down than the rest of the body. So when you're drawing a hedgehog, you need to make sure that you're drawing those shapes in the right places. Okay. Another top tip for your drawing today is look at the size of what you're drawing and how big each section needs to be on your page. So you want to try and get that sizing right, and as you can see with this fox, you don't want it to be too small on your page or too big. Okay. Another tip that we have is start by sketching the main outline of your shape or of the animal that you're drawing, and then go back and add the details like the eyes, whiskers and fur. So just like we looked at the beginning at those pictures of the animals and working out where all those shapes were, you start with those shapes and then you go back and do some detail. Okay. Another top tip for you is to use light, short pencil strokes. You don't need to draw a whole line all in one go. You can be much lighter with the pencil if you do little strokes, smaller strokes, and it can help you slow down and look at what you're drawing. And Pippa said, can we do pets? Of course you can. If you want to do an observational drawing of your pets, that's a brilliant idea. I guess the only issue with that is you've got to keep them sitting still, haven't you? Okay, so another top tip is to take it slowly. This isn't a race. And of course, if you want to share some of your learning today, it doesn't need to be finished. You can, if you like, just send us in just the sketch of the shapes if you want to at the beginning. So keep looking back at what you're drawing and checking that your shapes and lines are all in the right place. So, who's ready? I'm going to do some drawing with you today. We'll do a step by step and see how we get on. And then you're more than welcome to try some other bits and bobs if you want. And yeah, Cheryl says my dogs won't sit still. No, you're right, mine wouldn't either. Okay, so on the worksheets, let me just show you this. So on the worksheets, if you do have them, there's some pictures here of some different animals or creatures. And if you wanted to, there are others. So we've got lots of different animal cards here that you could have a go at drawing if you're able to print them out. Otherwise, of course, observational drawings you can do just at home with what you can see in the garden, or maybe even if you can find a picture online. There are also some worksheets here of the beginning of a drawing, and you can finish those if you like. But I thought it might be nice to do one of these together. So, I'm just going to show you something I did earlier, and then we'll talk about how we did it. Okay, so here is my attempt. Now, I do not pretend to be an artist. However, I was very, very pleased with my attempt this morning, and actually those shapes really helped me to understand how I should be drawing my animals. So, let's have a look together. Also, before I do that, there is no right or wrong with art. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I'm really not very good at drawing, please don't worry. There's no such thing as good or bad, and some of the best artists in the world have got really obscure drawings and paintings. So don't worry, there's no such thing as good or bad in art. There's just you and what you can do. So have some confidence in yourselves. Okay, so here's my attempt. So this one here was meant to be the robin, And I started just practicing doing those oval shapes and the triangle shapes and connecting them together on my page. And then I added in more detail and did some sketching with my pencil. So as you can see with the darker bits, I shaded in a bit harder with my pencil and lighter in the areas that don't need as dark a shading. And on the robin as well, I noticed that the front of the, it's very hard to do this when I've got a pencil and I'm looking at the screen. The belly bit here was a lighter sort of colour than the back, so that's why I left it more of a white colour. Another top tip from me is if you shade in something and think actually no, that should be white or it should be lighter, you can use a rubber just to rub that bit out and that should help. So I also had a go at the ladybird there, and I started with doing that oval shape again, and then I started doing some shading as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to leave you. I will do some of this with you in a minute. I'm just showing some of the examples that I did. And then I had a go, and I found this one probably the trickiest, at a mouse. Can you see any shapes in that mouse? I can see one big shape in particular. It's quite a fat mouse, isn't it? And Cheryl says she's got blending pencils. That's brilliant. You don't need them. You can. I did these drawings with just a normal pencil like this. But if you have got special shading pencils that are softer or harder in places, they're good for different shading. So yes, someone said that there's an oval. Yeah, so I started with this oval bit here. Oh, I can't quite point in the right way. There we go. So I started with the oval here. So those were my attempts. So shall we do some together? Now, I thought probably the best one to do together might even be the... Well, I don't know. You say in the chat, which one would you rather do? I can do one with you and then you can try different ones. Is there a particular one that you fancy doing today? What do you think? So we've got these ones here. I think we'll probably choose from these ones. So we could either have a go at the hedgehog, or maybe I need to practice my mouse a bit more. I knew lots of people will come up with different ideas, but don't worry, if we don't do the one that you want to do, you can always do that one after. Okay, a couple of people have said ladybird, so let's do that one. Okay, so have you got your pencil and your paper ready? So with the ladybird, I will put it up on the screen so you can see. If I make this like this. Okay, so with the ladybird, we just need to start with one big oval shape. Okay, so I'm going to do my oval now. And don't worry if it's not perfect, it's fine. Do light strokes, remember. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it doesn't quite look like an oval, you can just do lighter strokes to make it look like one. So here's mine. Oh, if you can see that, it's very light there. Just a light oval shape. Okay, and then as you can see on the image here, let's see if I can make it bigger. Here we go, that's better. Okay, so then once we've done our big oval, can you see on the screen there's this green line going across here? So if you want to have a go at doing that now and adding that to your picture, of course if you're doing your own one, you don't have to follow what I'm doing here. You can start on a different one. Okay, so once you've done that line across, like that, then we can add in those circles of where the black spots are on the ladybird. So let's do that now. So also something with ladybirds that we can link to some of our maths learning is that it's the same on both sides. What's that mean when it's the same on both sides? Does anyone know what the name of that is? I'm just going to draw mine on now and see whether anyone comes up with an answer or an idea. So I'm just drawing on my circle shapes with really light pencil strokes. And keep looking at the picture. Don't assume that there's something there. Make sure you keep looking up at the picture. So does anyone know what that word is if we were to link it to maths if it's the same on both sides? Anyone know? So, no one said yet, but it's called symmetry. It's symmetrical. Both sides are the same. So I've tried to do that as best as I can. So here we go. I have drawn my circles inside, and they're kind of the same on both sides. But of course, with symmetry, if we're drawing it freehand, it's not always easy to get it exactly the same on both sides. Okay, so next is we've got those rectangular shapes for the legs, and we've got some here that are added together, so there's more than one. So if you look here, I'm going to start with this one. There's like a little rectangular shape pointing up and then another rectangular shape pointing out like that. So let's have a go at that. And if you see, it links into that line here. Remember, light strokes. And do send your pictures in. Even if they're not finished, it's nice to see your work. So I'm just adding in those shapes down. And like I said, remember to keep looking up at the picture. Has anyone noticed that some of the legs come out from those circle shapes as well? Take your time, remember, it's not a race. Okay, so very rough at the moment, but I've just done my shapes. Okay, so this is when you can start shading in your ladybird. So I like to start with the head part of the ladybird. So I've noticed that there's almost a dip here in colour, so it's a bit white here. We keep the shape, so I'm going to shade this bit in and add this bit at the nose as well. Okay? I'm just going to add those semicircles in almost, just as a guide. So as the head bit there is very dark, I'm actually putting a lot more pressure on my pencil when I'm shading in there than I did before. So that's when, if you've got some of those shading pencils, that's really helpful. Otherwise, you can just use your normal pencil and just put a little bit more pressure on the pencil. I'm also just having a look at the tentacles bit at the front, these bits here, where they sniff out, and I can see some more shapes there, so I'm just going to add in some more ovals and little feelers there. Like this. Okay, you guys keep going, and I'd love to see some of your work. I'm now going to share a few things with parents that you can do after this lesson. Okay, so I'll leave this up so people can see. And I'm just going to move it to the side so I can show you some other bits and bobs. Okay, so parents, moving on from here, obviously this is one of those activities that's so open, and hopefully it'll capture some of the children's imaginations and they'll want to draw lots of things. So some other ideas that you can do is, I know lots of people are enjoying getting outside at the moment, so we have some freebies. If you go into the link below the video, there is a link to the worksheets, and there's 2 folders in there, one called the worksheets for this lesson and one called freebies, and this is one of those freebies. And there's lots and lots of different animals. There's pets, insects, reptiles, lots of different pictures of different creatures here. And what you could do is, on your walks, see how many animals the children can spot, and even maybe take a picture and go home and see if you can sketch that animal together. So I know on my walks I always see some dogs around here and cats, so you can always do those, or birds. We see lots of ducks as well. So that's a really nice activity that you might be able to do with the children. So that's one idea for you. We also have some really lovely mindful colouring sheets here. So another freebie that you can just download from that link if you would like. So some really nice little things that you can do there with the children. And Abby's just put that link into the chat for you. Okay. So I'm just going to make this big again. How's everyone getting on? So remember, after this lesson, if you want to try a different one, you could have a go at the hedgehog, or you could have a go at maybe the mouse that I did. I think I need a bit of practice with mine. Or you could have a go at doing the robin. So there's my attempt at the ladybird. I did a little bit more on that one. So I shaded in those dark spots on the body and put a little bit more detail in the legs there. And I noticed that the leg shape, they had lots of almost like upside down triangle shapes, and that was quite helpful when I was doing my sketching. So if you've got some work to show, please do send it in to homelearning@planbee.com, and yeah, I really hope we can share it. So let's see if we've got anything so far. Not yet. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's not finished yet. Let's see. My internet's being a bit slow at the moment, sorry about that. Ah, we do have something. Sorry, I was on the wrong email. Okay, yay! Right, we've got Katie here, and Katie's had a go at the hedgehog, and that looks amazing. Let me see if I can show you that. Oh, that is lovely, Katie. And I love how you've done all the spikes there with your pencil. And I can see those shapes too. You've got the oval and the triangle for the face. Well done, Katie. That's brilliant. We've got a little artist there. Right, let's have another look. Okay, we've got Callie's fox. Wow. Okay, let me see if I can download this. Here's Callie and her fox. And she coloured her fox in, that's brilliant. And I can see those shapes as well that you've done on the body. I see that oval shape and the triangle shapes for the ears. Brilliant, well done. Oh, I love showing all the work, it's so much fun. Okay, we've got let's have a look. This is, who's this? This is Lola. Oh, Lola, that's lovely. Well done. So I can see you've put a line down the middle. And that's a really good idea because that almost helps with the symmetrical, helping put the spots in the right places. And I love all the colours that you've used. I can see those shapes as well. Fantastic. Well done, Lola. Love that. Right, let's have a look at another one. Okay, we've got Isabel. Here, let's have a look at Isabel's Ladybird. Wow, look at that. I love that, and I can see where you've shaded in that head bit where it's darker and coloured it in. That's brilliant. See, I didn't have colours with me, so I couldn't colour it in. That looks fantastic. Well done, Isabel. That's lovely. Okay, we've also got, who's this? Ayana. Welcome back, Ayana. Let's have a look at Ayana's. Here's Ayana's. Right, let me make this smaller. Brilliant. And I can really see those shapes that you've used as well. You've got the rectangles for the legs and the circles for all the dots there. And you've got the feelers as well. And some really nice shading with your pencil. I can see where you've done a bit lighter and then darker where it's black in the picture. Brilliant, Ayana. Thank you so much for sending that in. And we have got Ebony. Let's see. I'm going as quick as I can so I can get as many in as possible before we finish. Here is Ebony's. Really lovely shading there, and really tried hard to get those symmetrical dots there as well. Brilliant. Well done, Ebony. Thank you very much for sending that in. And we've got Emily. Got lots coming in today. I was looking in the wrong place before. Here we go, here's Emily. And Emily, I can see you've noticed those almost upside down type triangles for the legs there. Really good attention to detail. And I love how you've used different colours there, almost like you've got oranges and reds going through the skin there as well on the shell. That's brilliant. Well done. Thank you so much. Well done, Emily. Okay, we've got Thomas. Let's have a look at Thomas's. Oh, wow. Thomas has done some proper observational drawing of his cat. Look at that. And you didn't have the problem of the cat sitting still because it looks like it's having a nice little nap. Brilliant. Look at that observational drawing you've done there. I love the nose and the eyes because you can see they're almost connected. That's absolutely amazing. Well done, Thomas. And your cat's very fluffy, but she's so soft. Right. Thank you so much, Thomas. That's brilliant. Okay, we've got time for a couple more. Right, Isabel. Let's have a look at yours. So Isabel had a go at the hedgehog. And that's such, oh, I love the way you've used the triangle for the head there. And you can see the oval for the body. And some brilliant sketching. Looks very spiky, doesn't he? Fantastic. Well done. I'm so impressed. Lots of little artists we have here. So I really hope lots of you are going to have a go at some of the other pictures we've got. Or maybe you might like to go on one of those hunts around, maybe if you've got a garden or you've got a park nearby, see whether you can find any of those animals that we were talking about before. That's great. So who thinks they're going to be doing some more drawing this afternoon? Ah, they are all lovely. Well done, everyone. Done such a great job today. I think I might even, it's quite, it's a nice activity to do, isn't it? Just to wind down, have a few moments of peace. It's really lovely. And lots of people saying that they're going to do a bit more drawing this afternoon. That's fantastic. Okay, so I think we are going to stop there. But thank you so much for joining us today for this lovely art lesson. I've really enjoyed it. I've loved seeing all of your learning. So make sure if you do finish some of those drawings that you've done, that you send us in some more pictures. That would be amazing. I'd love to see them. So thank you so much for joining us again today, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.